If we can't get along, we ought to be apart. And I'm wondering where you get that cold, cold heart. Set me free, sign my release. I'm tired of being the villain of the piece. You've been giving me a bad time. Tell me what I do. I come always get a hard time when it comes to you. Saying things that you didn't have to. I always get a hard time when it comes to you. You only get one life, this I know. Fire and love is dead and cold. I gotta satisfy the hunger in my soul. You've been giving me a bad time. Tell me what I do. I'm always get a hard time, honey, when it comes to you. Saying things that you didn't have to. I come always get a hard time, honey, when it comes to you. Hello everybody, how are we all doing? Just having a little bit of a doodle there to introduce the show. Let me try and fix up the camera a little bit. It's all been a little bit of a rush this evening. So who have we got here with us tonight? Let's have a little check out here, okay? Hey Stuart, great to see you, okay? And David, you said you was going to make it and you didn't disappoint. Leo, okay. Thank you very much, Leo. Good to have you on board, and Paul H as well, who recognised the bit of Knopfler there, and Jeff. Hey, okay, so everybody's recognising it. That's always a good sign. And Leadbelly, hey, I've got a little admission to make to you in a little bit of time, in a little while. And hello, come in Florida. We've got Susie with us as well, and we've got Johan as well, which is great. Thanks, great to see you, Johan. Okay, okay. I thought I'd lose the night top for this evening, Leo. So that was a little bit of Dire Straits and Mark Knopfler, and it was called, hey, who else have we got there? We've got Brittle Blue there, Bristol Blue, great to see you as well. So we got all our usual crowd, and people are joining as we speak and everything else, so that's always good to see. I hope you're all well this week. It's wonderful to see you all. I hope you've all been plucking. Make sure you got your guitar and your moonshine. Okay, so that's very important for the Joe Show. And if you don't need the moonshine, then that's fine, but you may need a guitar, okay, if you want to kind of run through a few of these kind of ideas with me that I'm going to be talking about. So that number there that I was just playing was a little bit of Dire Straits, and it's called, what is it called? It's a good point. When It Comes to You, I think it's called. Now let me just say hello to some of the kind of people who are joining us as well. We've got Paul T, who's still working on his turnarounds. That's good to hear, Paul. Practice makes perfect. And we've got George from across the pond, which is great. Write in caps so Joe can see. That is a good idea, that Leadbelly. Do you know what? Can everybody please listen to Leadbelly there? That's a fantastic suggestion, because very often I can hardly see these things. They're like tiny little things. So Willem, good to see you as well. So capital letters if you can, guys. That'd be even better, so I can see what you're saying without all this kind of, whoa, what's going on here? That's definitely better, Paul, okay? So we don't want the small letters anymore, all right? Now, Leadbelly, as I said, I've got a confession to make in a little while. Moonshine, lively show tonight. Hi, Joe, okay. And we've got Gary. Gary, great to see you. Hope the group's going well and everything for you. Good idea. From Paul H. And we've got Steve. Hey, Joe, that's all better. Everybody's now Les as well. That's big enough. It's making life a whole lot easier. Everybody's straight onto that. Nobody likes teacher's pet, Leadbelly. Jeff, it isn't, honestly. It's just, you'll understand why in a bit, yeah. It'll all become a little bit clear. Jeff went to see Kev Mo, by the way, folks, who is a great blues artist, if you haven't heard him. It looked a very intimate little gig, that, Jeff. Very nice, and I think well done for making the effort to go along. It's all too easy to say, I'm not going to bother, but you did it, and I think that's really, really good. So we've got Maxter as well, just popping in to say hi, and got to go Bath. A little and put it to bed. Oh, the little one and put it to bed. Well, hopefully, Maxter, you can watch this on catch up, okay? If you and Steve, I'm going to come to the Leadbelly lesson in a minute, because I've got something to say about that. Okay, apple for the teacher. I'm liking this. Okay, panic over. Julie, remember capitals like everybody else now. It's going to make a difference for me to be able to see it. Okay. You're having, I can't quite get that, Leadbelly. Veg haggis. Oh, veg haggis, is that by any chance? But anyway, for those of you who are interested, I was just playing a little bit of Dire Straits there, and it's called When It Comes to You. And it's quite an easy song to play, yeah? A lot of it's just based around an A minor. And then you've got an E minor, back to your A minor, so that's all A minor, E minor, yeah? For those of you who are interested, I'm just whizzing through these things quickly. I have actually done a lesson on this as well. Then it goes to a D for the chorus. Back to A minor, E minor, G, and D, and A minor, sorry. So one more time on the chorus, you've got A minor to D, to A minor, and then you just got an E minor, a G major, and an A minor. And another thing is, if you've got a ditto, you can kind of obviously record all this and kind of you end up with, which I recorded earlier. And there you have it. So use your loopers if you've got them, guys. Great little thing for practicing all your solo stuff and all of that type of thing, all right? Now then, let's see what we've got, okay? Now, I may well, Johan, look at some other Leadbelly songs. I think he's a great kind of, he's done some great songs, yeah? And yeah, get yourself a ditto, get yourself a looper. There's no point me explaining it here because, you know, there's thousands of videos on YouTube. You can just check it out. To be honest with you, you just want to buy one if you're interested in one and just play with it, because it's going to take you a little bit of time before you start hitting that button where you should. But it's very, very simple, and I strongly, strongly recommend that you do get one. Okay, now onto the Leadbelly song, okay? I'm really disappointed because I noticed today that when I uploaded the video, what happened was I explained the chords, okay? Now this is my announcement, so everybody needs to listen here for a second, all right? I'm not going to be looking at the messages for a minute because this is an urgent announcement for everybody to listen to, yeah? I made the Leadbelly video, as I'm sure many of you are aware, and although I explained it correctly, what I managed to do, which is really annoyed me, but nevertheless, is I've put one of the chord diagrams in incorrectly, okay? Now what I did, for those of you, just so I can clarify this, the long and short of it is that I'm going to have to pull the video and redo it, putting the correct chord box diagram in the video. I know, it's highly frustrating, okay? But I'll leave the original there until I've corrected it. So let me explain what the difference was. I explained the correct chord, but I showed the wrong diagram. Now on the diagram, I showed the E7 chord as being index finger on the 3rd string, middle finger on the 4th string of the 2nd fret, and the pinky on the 2nd string of the 3rd fret. Okay? What you need to do is to move the middle finger up a string. Okay, so when you're playing the E7, let's just take all that off. The shape you should have is that. Okay, so this finger, I had it down as being there in the chord diagram like this. It's so difficult to try and move your fingers out of the way. Right, I had the diagram looking like that when it should have been like that. This middle finger on the 5th string. And now I've just given myself a whole heap of work to sort that lot out. Okay, now then, so if anybody would like to try and play along with this Leadbelly song, we could try and do that now, okay? And what we'll do is we'll do it without the, yeah, that's correct, Leadbelly, yeah. It was just really kind of annoying to see, and I just thought, well, I did, like when I was explaining it, say the correct thing, but you know, these things happen type of thing. Good evening. Now then, so let's kind of okay, hi, hello New York, that's great to see you all. Okay, so everybody, now if you've got your guitar handy, we're going to try and have a go at Leadbelly's Goodnite Irene. Okay, now I'm not going to sing it, I'm just going to kind of try and talk you through it. Alright, so it starts on the A chord. Are we ready? Okay, we've got our A chord fretted and we go A, E7, E7, A. E7, E7, A. How did that go? I hope that went all right. All right, we're going to go again. You don't have to start telling me how it went. Just concentrate on your playing, okay? So we're going to go again after 3, because it's like 3/4. It's like a waltz, yeah? So we've got 1, 2, A, E7, E7, A, D7, E7, A. Okay, one more time. A, E7, A, D7, E7. Okay, now we're going to play it a bit quicker, right? You think you can manage that? We'll try and go a little bit quicker. It doesn't matter. I mean, speed isn't very important, you know. It's just much more important that you're in time. So just give your fingers a little break while I'm talking, and then we'll go at it again a little bit quicker, all right? So just to give you a feel for what we're looking for this time around, we're going to try for... Yeah, so we'll try and go at that kind of tempo. Remember, it doesn't matter too much. If you find that too much of a challenge, then just back off and just keep practicing the song until you're kind of playing it smooth slowly. And then you can begin to bring up the pace. That's the way I would suggest that you go about these things, all right? So let's have another go together on a little bit quicker this time, all right? So 1, 2, E7. A, D7, E7, A. Well done. One more time. All right, one more time. Same tempo. I can almost hear those sounds coming to me across the ether. One more time. A, E7. Back to A. D7. E7. A. One more time. A. E7. E7. A. D7, E7. All right, now you try and sing it, right? A, E7, E7, A, D7, E7. How did it go, guys? Now you can tell me. Did any of you play, or was I just playing to myself? I thought I could hear something coming through the waves there. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's just me being optimistic. But that's generally how the song goes, yeah? But apologies for the video, and as I say, I'll have to pull it and kind of correct it and stuff like that, okay? Hard to play and have a drink at the same time. Well, we know the answer to that, Les, don't we? Leo, I should say. Yes, success, Julie. I'm glad to hear that. That's fantastic, especially as I think you're on the banjo, aren't you? Johan, international choir, fantastic. I played just the chords and kept that up. That's really good, Susie. Steve, Not great at full speed. That's okay, Steve. That's cool. Just take your time. Like I say, just back it off. I kind of put the pressure on a little bit there. Terry Cook was good. Work for Gary. And yes, must have heard from her, Jen. I heard you, Jeff. Perhaps you can give us a rendition, Jeff. I'd like to hear you play, or anybody else for that matter, play this song. If you'd like to post it on my Facebook, I'd love to listen to you play and give you some feedback. So you're very welcome to do that. I lost you after a more to do with incompetence. Thank you for teaching. You're very, very welcome, David. That's okay. I do realise that it was getting a little bit of a move on for some people there. What are you playing? Leo from Belgium. Okay. What? Great. What are you playing? Well, if you mean the song, it was Goodnite Irene. Could do ukulele also. That's a very good idea, Susie. Yeah, it lends itself to all kinds of things. This. So so that was good effort, yeah. So I hope you're all clear now on what the little error was in the video, okay? So yeah, I'm hoping that you are, yeah, because I did spend quite a little bit of time doing that, and I hope that anybody who doesn't see this video live will watch back and just check that they're playing the right E7, middle finger, 5th string, 2nd fret, not 4th, as in the chord diagram. Okay, does that make sense, Leadbelly? Yeah, drunk people sure do like to sing it. Okay, I'm hoping that yeah, I can take a look at Bittersweet Symphony sometime. Not now, I can't remember it, but it's just kind of a few. You've pricked my curiosity now. Oh, you got me now. Yeah, I'll come back and take a look at that sometime, because I did used to know all the little string parts as well, which was good. So now we've looked at Leadbelly, we've taken a look at the Dire Straits thing. For anybody who's interested, I have actually done a lesson on that. Now I wanted to do a little something for beginners, because I like to try and do a little bit of something for everybody, as you know. And it's just one of those, so you know, I know there's quite a few of you out there, okay? And so, you know, sometimes it's good just to have these kind of simple songs, and so you don't get overwhelmed, okay? Now, I'm going to take a moment to talk to you about something which I think is really, really important. And it's quite a delicate thing. It's quite a difficult thing to talk about, but what I kind of come across quite a lot when I'm teaching people privately here at home and things like that, as well as online as well, is that people may start out learning, and then they will reach for something which is way out of reach, okay? Now, it's a very, very good thing to know your limits. It's really kind of important to know what your limits are, and that can be a difficult thing when you're starting out, because you're not really sure what's involved with learning something, okay? So it can be a kind of quite a difficult thing, but you know, I get people say kind of just started to play guitar, and they're kind of wondering why they can't play, say, Robert Johnson or something like that. And it's kind of obvious to anybody who's played why that would be, is because a beginner is kind of down here at their kind of skill levels and stuff, and all that kind of stuff's way up there. And there's no harm in reaching for a song that you really like. I was kind of like that myself. You know, it's all about kind of just slowly catch the monkey, as Gary says there, right? So it's kind of a slow process, and you can do yourself a disservice. This is what I'm trying to get across, by reaching too high. So it's very, very important that your learning is kind of graduated. And it's very important for me to say this, because I think a lot of teachers don't really, or at least I haven't seen many teachers online talking about this, because ultimately they just want them to play everything or whatever it is they're teaching. But you've got to ask yourself the question, is this something that I can realistically learn in, say, a month or something like that? And if it's not, if you're like not getting anywhere with something after a month, that's a sure sign that it's kind of too difficult for you in a sense. The people that I find are very, very successful with learning instruments and learning guitar are people who have a good approach to their learning. So they'll learn something kind of within their grasp, and then when they learn something else, they will raise the bar a little bit, but not too much. So we're constantly challenging ourselves, but not to the extent where we're just getting frustrated with the guitar, because that's to be avoided at all costs. That's when people put the guitar down, or people think, no, this isn't for me. But so I'd like any of you kind of people who have started your guitar journey to bear that in mind, because that's probably who it's most applicable to. And I think that, also that can be the case for intermediate players as well. You can do anything you want to do. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to discourage anybody. As many of you will know who watch the show, I'm very into encouraging you and trying to get you to where you want to get to with all my kind of online stuff, and, try and do a bit here as well. That's my main aim. So I don't want to discourage you, but rather I'd like you to progress speedily, and not set yourself back and not give yourself these kind of headaches. Okay, so if anybody has any questions relating to that, you can kind of ask me that, because I'm even thinking of going through all the lessons I've done, which is over 350 now, and categorizing them into easy, beginners, intermediate, and advanced, so people have some idea as to what to approach with my lessons and things like that. But you really need to ask yourself the question, even after 3 weeks, if you're really not getting much of a result, then, you got to ask yourself, am I kind of reaching a little bit too high here? Do I need to just step back a little bit? Okay, so there's lots of great songs and people will have a lot of advice here. This is why we're building this community, so you can all kind of share your experiences with other people. It's very, very important. So let's have a little look if anybody's got anything to say on that note, okay? I've finally learned to slow down and learn at a speed that works for me. Now, that's the cat speaking there, and that's very, very true, okay? And Anita can appreciate what I'm saying. She finds that encouraging. So, like Here Comes the Sun or Blackbird, in the beginning, yeah, I mean, you've got to think, if you've just learned a few chords, it doesn't make sense to start trying to go and so on, it's just, you've got to, yeah, exactly, all right. So try and be your own teacher in a sense, and just try and remind yourself, this could be too difficult. So let's have a little look. Pick up your guitar for 10 minutes a day. It will often become 30 minutes and an hour. Steve's got a good point there. Very good point. And William says he started with House of the Rising Sun. Of course, you can see these comments, guys. And Jeff, don't we think it's great that people from all over the world communicate in a friendly way? Yeah, I think it's fantastic, Jeff. I think it's wonderful. And I hope that this continues to grow. I mean, it's wonderful that kind of people come together for this little show. I try and keep it as interesting as I can, and enjoyable for everybody in their own kind of little way. So, yeah, well, you thought, so let's have a little look. I work on difficult tune while I learn the basics, no pressure. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Do you like a bit of Blackbird, Susie? Do you like Blackbird? Would you like me to play a little bit, or not especially? Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird flies, blackbird flies into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird flies, blackbird flies into the light of a dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. You were only waiting for this moment to rise. Little bit of Blackbird for you there, Susie. It's always nice to play a little bit of finger picking and things like that. And if you're interested in these kind of things, you know, I've done loads of videos, as you probably know. I often say, you know, on finger picking basics and how to get started and all that type of stuff. You see, Patreon allows me like a better opportunity to kind of explain, you know, a lot more about my videos and categorize them and things like that. And many of you are members now, which is fantastic. It helps me out tremendously. But you'll be able to find your way through the material, you know, quite a lot easier. So let's see what people are saying then. So we've got, yes, so I hope you enjoyed that, Susie. I know you like a little bit of Blackbird. And Anita seems to like that as well. And Johan says difficult with me because he was a pro. Okay, well then that's not very good to get frustrated with people. It doesn't really help you, that, does it, Susie? So not really a two pair here, but prefer Joe's voice to Paul's. Wow, that's very flattering, Leadbelly. That's very kind of you to say so. I'm not sure many people would agree with you, but hey, who cares? I'm not complaining. Oh, thanks, Steve. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Well, you all seem to really enjoy that. It's a lovely little song, isn't it? Yeah. Some of these kind of things, I would recommend to you all that you try and, you know, have a go at the finger picking. Make a start. If you're a beginner and stuff like that, just, you know, say maybe dedicate half your practice to using the plectrum and half your fingers, you know, and then you'll be developing them both side by side in parallel. And that's a great idea. It's going to really, really help you tremendously, okay? Now, as I got a little bit kind of sidetracked, I wanted to kind of play a little bit of a song for the beginners out there, okay? And, you know, sometimes to have, say, a song just with 4 chords or something like that can be really, really helpful. Now, I did a U2 song on YouTube, and it turned out to be like one of my the most popular video that I've done, actually. And so I came up with another one, you know, because I like to kind of do some contemporary stuff as well. A lot of people know me for my kind of blues, you know. All this kind of, you know, Robert Johnson and all the other kind of stuff that I do. But I also do quite a lot of contemporary stuff as well, as many of you will know. So anyway, getting on to this little song that I'm going to play you. Again, you can join me. It'd be fantastic if you can, all right? It's not a difficult one. We're just looking at a D chord. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. An A chord. A B minor chord. And a G chord. You can play as a bar or you can play it open. Okay, so one more time, we've got a D, an A, sorry about that, a B minor, and a G. So can anybody tell me what that song is just from those chords? I'll be very impressed if you can. Okay. No one's coming forth with the answer for that one, which is fine, okay? You've got it, Leo. Leo has got it, okay? So we're going to play those chords, all right? And D, A, B minor, G. Now, if you can dampen it, even better, right? So this is what you're kind of looking to do. I'm going to just show you what to do. Then hopefully you'll join me, and then we can all play it together, and I'll be the vocalist for this one, but you can also join in with the vocals as well. It's one of those kind of songs. We'll play some of the song, all right? We won't play the whole thing because we've got a lot of stuff I would like to try and get through. So, starts with the D. A. B minor. G. So the kind of chord changes are pretty quick. A. B minor, G, one more time, D, and A, B minor, G. Now you're on your own, guys. See the stone set in your eye, see the thumb twist in your side. I wait for you. Sleight of hand and twist of fate. On a bed of nails she makes me wait. And I wait without you, with or without you, with or without you. How's it going, guys? I hope you're still keeping it going. Okay, Ken, I hope you're joining us here. We've got a D chord, an A chord, a B minor chord, and a G chord. All right. Storm, we reach the shore. You give it all, but I want more. And I'm waiting for you, with or without you, with or without you. I can't live with or without you, and you give yourself away, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away, and that's all it is, guys. I hope you're joining us here, Palmer. We've got a D chord, we've got an A chord, we've got a B minor chord, and a G chord. I hope we're all still playing here. I can see there's a lot of typing going on. see again, you see kind of how you can play with the looper. So we've got our rhythm down there. We've just got 4 chords. They're going round and round. Okay? And we're just playing the same chords in different positions. So we've got a D, an A B minor, G, Alright, so you see, very simple song, but you can turn it into something which is a little bit kind of enjoyable. So, you know, again, I'm just trying to highlight the benefits, really, I suppose, of this kind of looper thing, yeah? You can certainly have a little bit more company when you're playing, depending if you're kind of at that level, you know? But again, the sooner you start doing these kind of things, then the quicker you're going to be able to kind of do them yourself, which is what I'm sure you all want to do. So let me just have another little catch up with you all, guys, because I often do a lot of kind of playing and everything. See what latecomers we've got, or people who have joined us more recently, who are Ken. It's nice to see you, Ken. Yeah, it's quite a nice little kind of progression in a way. Not a U2 fan, but I'm singing away. Yeah, that's fair enough, Maxter. So it took me over a year for my first tune. I thought that if the old gentleman in the 70s could play it, then it couldn't be that difficult. He'd only been playing since he was a boy. That's a very good point, Roger. We were just been talking about that. I don't know if you caught the beginning of the show or just halfway through. We're talking about how important it is not to choose things which are too difficult. And I'm guessing that's what that's in response to. Palmer, I'm glad you could join us. I know this isn't the greatest time of day for you. And you Fridays are busy as well, aren't they? So, yeah. Great that you could make it for some of the show, though, Palmer. And so Terry's here also. And let me just check if there's somebody there that we haven't mentioned so far. Yes, I did explain to people, Palmer, about Leadbelly. I made an error in the video. So any latecomers, just, you know, you'll need to watch this video back, okay? Because there's a mistake in the chord diagrams, which I now have to correct. Not good. And basically I said that the chord for the E7 should be that, okay? I.e. the middle finger on the 4th string, whereas it should be on the 5th for the E7 in Leadbelly. So that's the second time I've said this, guys. So hopefully when you check out the video and stuff, you will know that it's that E7, all right? And I'll correct it. I'll make those necessary changes. Okay, now then. So we've taken care of some beginner stuff there as well, yeah? And we've played a couple of things as well. We've played a little bit of Blackbird. I've got a little blues strummer for you coming up, which, you know, when it comes to kind of E-blues, for any of you blues people out there, this is a key that we really need to get good with. We really need to feel at home with, okay? Now, it makes sense that we need to be able to have a good rhythm, before we can kind of, you know, do all the kind of stuff we want to do. You know, because a lot of people want to do all the and do all the kind of solo bits over the top, but unless that we can do that rhythm, that's going to be nigh on impossible. All right, so we need to have a very solid rhythm, which will really help us kind of formulate our kind of licks and our lead playing, right? Because if we're playing something like if our kind of rhythm playing isn't kind of in time, all those kind of licks that we're putting in just won't fall in the correct place. So we need to be able to leave off on the rhythm, say, and play whatever it is we want to play and come back in the right place. Okay, so that's very, very important. So just for a little kind of strummer for you, I'm just going to lower this down a touch because I think it's a little bit on the low side for a kind of strummer. I'm drifting, drifting, just like a ship out on the sea. I'm drifting, drifting, just like a ship out on the sea. Well, I ain't got nobody in this world to care for me. If my baby would only take me back again. If my baby would only take me back again. Well, I ain't got nobody in this world to care for me. So it kind of follows the same format as a lot of other things, all right? So it's just like kind of your turnaround for this, okay? A good, I mean, I've touched on this many a time, okay? But for those of you who aren't too sure, a good turnaround for blues in E is to put your index finger on the 3rd fret 2nd string and your middle finger on the 4th fret of the 4th fret 3rd string, yeah? So you have that. Okay, so you're starting off on the 3rd and the 4th frets. Then you go down, and you go down, and then you just play that one. Okay, so that's just the first fret 3rd string. All right, now that's a good. And if you put some upstrokes with it as well, so you've got. Okay, and the beauty of that is that if you play that shape, you can, once you're comfortable with it, you can put the ring finger on the same fret as the middle finger, basically the 4th fret, yeah, only the 1st string, and you can play. You can play it by pulling off, or you can just play it as it is. And there's lots and lots of things you can do around this shape, you know. So in this, so you need to be doing it kind of slow, yeah? Hi, Jamie. Then you can go into a B7. So you know, it is kind of difficult if you haven't done the kind of turnaround thing before, going from your kind of groove into the, it can be a little bit sticky when you're starting out, but just keep kind of practicing it. Just, you know, you don't, what can be kind of more difficult, make it more difficult for yourself, is when you start trying to go, you know, playing complicated turnarounds with that pattern, or difficult kind of up and down, a lot of right hand strumming, like, you know, you might find that too difficult, so you just do the downstrokes or something. If my baby would only take me back again. Okay, so remember we were talking about plectrum and fingers as well. So, you know, you can do all this with your fingers as well. So keep going with this E blues, because, you know, it's no coincidence that that's what's used in the majority of blues, you know, be it Lightning Hopkins, be it Muddy Waters, be it John Lee Hooker, be it so many of those guys just play dozens of songs using that kind of pattern. You can just play the straight and start trying to put the in. That adds a little bit of flavour. We've talked about this a lot of times. Yeah, I do, Gary, yeah. That's a lovely little turnaround, that one. Yeah? Middle finger 5th fret, 5th string. Index finger 4th fret, 3rd string. That's your first move. Second move, 5th string, 4th fret. Index finger 2nd fret, 3rd string. So we've got okay, and then so we got, I just play like the 5th string 3rd fret there, and I play like an open 3rd string, and then when I come back into the E shape here, hammering on that 1st string there, yeah, sorry, 3rd string 1st fret. So try and get your blues that tight and that solid, and then that's a great place to build. You know, you can kind of, you can start putting those licks around it, but not until you got that solid. Now this blues thing got me kind of thinking about, like, you know, the typical kind of, I don't know how much you know about it, guys, but you know, like which chords belong in which keys and things like that. A lot of the kind of simple stuff is like your 3 major chords, you know. So you have your 1 chord and your 4 chord and your 5 chord, and they're built off the scale, major scale or minor scale, whatever it is. So you get your kind of chords from that scale, whatever scale you're working with, you get the major chords from that. And we tend to just play, you know, like I've just done there, say E, A and B. But it got me kind of thinking, you know, this long A thing, I've done a few lessons recently, blues tips 1 and 2, and even if I say so myself, I think they're really kind of packed little lessons, very condensed little lessons. I think part 1 is on YouTube and part 2 is on Patreon, yeah? And the subsequent parts will probably be over at Patreon, and they'll get to YouTube at some stage. Good evening, Tokyo. Great to see you there, right? So we've got this long A is massively important in blues if that's what you kind of like, okay? It's something that you really need to approach, and that's something that I kind of talk about quite a bit. But it got me thinking about, you know, if you're playing in, say, you know, A, you've got A, D and E and stuff like that, but it's kind of interesting once you use the other chords, you know. So we've got this kind of A shape here to a D, so I was just kind of making up a song, you know, over the last few days, just thinking about different shapes and just including a little bit more than your you know, your standard 3 chords. So I know there's a lot of you out there who are quite, you know, good players and intermediate and kind of quite advanced players. So we've looked at the kind of beginners things, and we're coming to the end of the lesson now, and I just wanted to give you something to think about. So as I say, we've got this long A shape to a D shape to the long A, back to D, and this is a lovely diminished chord, okay? So we've got the index finger on the 4th string of the 1st fret, and we've got the middle finger on the 2nd string of the 1st fret, and then we put our ring finger on the 3rd string of the 2nd fret and our pinky or little finger on the 1st string of the 2nd fret, and we get this diminished sound, which is a lovely sound, okay? And this is works everywhere, yeah? It's a movable chord, so well worth learning, okay? So in this instance where we're playing an A, so we're playing this long A to a D, to A, back to D, diminish, back to A, to D, diminished, drop down to the F sharp, to the B7, and then we have this lovely little turn around, which is a kind of turn around. It's bringing us back on ourselves, yeah. All right, one more time. We've got this long A, D, walk it down, D, diminished, walk it down, D, diminished, into the F sharp 7, to a B7, and then we have index on the 1st fret, 3rd string, and we have the middle finger on the 5th string of the 2nd fret, and we play, that's our first move, and then we just put our middle finger on the 6th string 2nd fret and our ring finger on the 3rd string, and we just move that up that shape, 2nd fret, 2, 3, 4, back to the long A, so back to the long A, okay, and if you're wondering what the little drop down is, it's just A flat, open, into the F sharp 7. So let me just play it really slowly, because I think this is a great little, it's great to see you, Joseph, however late you are. It's wonderful to see you. Unfortunately, we're coming to the end of things, but you can always watch it on catch up and that. So let me kind of leave you with this, guys. I'm just going to come in a little bit closer so you can see what's happening, yeah? Because we've looked at a lot of beginners stuff tonight, and I think that this might kind of, you know, give you a little bit something different to think about, maybe. with having this kind of diminished chord to think about. Yeah, so don't forget that. Second and fourth strings of the first fret, and then on the second fret we're playing the first and the third. Okay? Everything else is relatively common sense, especially if you're approaching this, okay? So we've got to try and be proficient with this long A. So we got the A, 7 to the D, and then we walk down on the A. D, diminished, walk down, D, diminished, drop, okay, into the F sharp 7, B7, walk up, okay, one more time. So it's kind of interesting. So hopefully that's kind of something for some of the intermediate players to have a little bit of a think about as well, you know, just thinking outside the box, because I've been talking quite a lot about being able to play chords in different positions across the neck, you know. So, you know, we've got a D chord here, yeah, we've got a D chord here or here, and a D chord here, and a D chord here. And you know, in some senses, if you're very, very familiar with all those kind of shapes and things, then it means you can kind of solo just using the shapes, okay? So this is off this D. Up to the other Ds, through the other Ds here. And we're just using these kind of shapes, you know. And then we can kind of go into the G, the chords and things like that. These are just kind of positions in different parts of the neck, and we don't need to know anything about scales on that basis, you know. We've got the D shape. All from the D, okay? So it's well worth thinking about it. D, 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 D. Very important to know those shapes, and it will make all your kind of soloing stuff a lot easier. So yeah, that's just something else I wanted to kind of leave you with. There's just one thing I really was hoping to kind of get a little bit of time for. I know this has been on my mind for some time, this song, and it's something that I'd like to maybe do a lesson on. I'm reluctant to do lessons that only appeal to a very small minority of people. I try and spread that net as wide as I can. It's no good when playing loads of things that only a handful of people are going to be able to approach or something. So it's much better if I'm doing things that you can get to grips with, okay? Now, as many of you will know, all right, I'm just going to touch on this, and we may kind of go into a little bit more depth. Already I'm kind of running over on things. So, you know I'm a Clapton fan, and I like Clapton as I do many other musicians as well. And he did a track called Worried Life Blues. Quite a few people have mentioned this to me on the channel. You know, it wasn't something that it really wasn't something that was on the main release of the album. I think it was on a reissue. He had played a few extra songs which didn't appear on the album, and anyhow, this was one of them. Yeah. Yeah, and he plays this kind of really nice track called Worried Life Blues anyhow, okay? And we've got these kind of shapes which he uses. It's like a C, yeah, but it's a C6, all right? Now, this shape is not an easy shape. So again, we're talking intermediate advanced here. If you're kind of a beginner, it's going to be a big challenge. And remember, it mustn't be too big a challenge, else you're going to get fed up, all right? But I'm going to show you the shape anyway. We put our ring finger on those bottom three strings, yeah? Bottom three strings of the 3rd fret. Now that in itself is going to be a challenge for some people, and we haven't even started, right? The index finger goes on the 4th string of the 2nd fret, and the middle finger goes on the 5th string of the 3rd fret. All right, so now we have this chord which is like a C, like a C6, like I say, all right? And the song just uses that chord. We go all the way up to the 7th fret, and we play the same chord there, and the 9th fret. We play it there as well. Okay, now it's quite advanced because moving this chord around, which he does a lot, and kind of doing all these kind of fancy techniques, we're not going to get into that this week. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the basics to go away with, and maybe we can play it together next week like we did this week with the Leadbelly, yeah? Okay, so here we go. We got this shape and it goes, whoa, lordy, Lord. Whoa, lordy, Lord, it hurts me so badly for us to part. Whoa, lordy, Lord, whoa, lordy, Lord, it hurts me so badly for us to part. But someday, baby, I ain't gonna worry my life anymore. Okay, so that's the kind of format of it, yeah? We got this. Oh, Lord, Lord. Oh, Lord, Lord. It hurts me so badly for us to part. Oh, Lordy, Lord, oh, Lordy, Lord, it hurts me so badly for us to part. But someday, baby, I ain't gonna worry my life anymore. You're on my mind every place I go. How much I love you, you'll never know. But someday, babe, I ain't gonna worry my life anymore. So there you kind of hear a little bit of the kind of flavour of it. Yeah, it's not one I've done on the Ditto before. So a bit of a new experience for me for that. But anyhow, there's an awful lot of stuff to practice there if you want to do that one, because as well as playing those chords, what it kind of does is there's a lot of this kind of, and you know, up here. So he's taking those three strings and going, and coming back into the chord. So it's those chords are kind of quite difficult to slide across the neck and things like that. So anyhow, I hope that is helpful to you all. It's wonderful to catch up and to have another Joe show and to have your support and everything else. Don't forget, guys, if you click on that subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, or the like button, or if you can, you know, if you're interested in helping me over at Patreon, that would be absolutely fantastic. That really does help me continue on making the lessons for you and things like that. So I'm just flattered that you'll spend this time with me, and hopefully you come away, you know, learning a little something, or perhaps you have a listen to kind of some things that you kind of like, and it kind of helps you in some small way. And I know that some of you like to listen to me play a few songs, and some of you like me to teach you, some of you like me to show you bits and pieces. So it's time for me to kind of touch bases with you again before I head off, guys. If you want to say goodbye now, you can do so, and I will kind of say farewell to you as well. Okay, so here we go. Now, do I do tabs for download on my Patreon page? Yes, I do, Gary. I started doing them a couple of years back now, so I haven't got tabs for everything, but a lot of the new stuff I have, yeah. Right, Leo. Would it have a central heating radiator behind him? No, he would not. He'd have the rain dripping down on his head, probably, and be outside. It's a moonshiner. Yeah. Okay. I've gone too soft. I need to. I haven't even got blisters on my fingers. So we got Tokyo. We got kind of. It's great to see all the same familiar faces here as well. Sounds really, really good. Okay. I know what I'm practicing this weekend. Thanks, Joe. You're very welcome, Chris, and thanks for joining us. You're kind of. It's great to have people who I haven't seen before. I'm not sure you may have been before. And we've got, where are we now? I'm Never Going Back Again is one of my fave ones. Yeah, Lindsay Buckingham. Do you know what? I haven't played that for a while, to be honest with you. And I don't know whether I should kind of play out with that. But if you want to say your farewells now, guys, you can do. Have you enjoyed? I hope you kind of enjoyed the show. A lot of people like this song, but I like to kind of play it for a while. I'm used to putting the capo on in different places all the time. That's a bloody problem with this. I've just lost my mojo tonight, guys, honestly. trying to see how fast I can play this. Let's go. It's got that nice live bit as well. Lovely little song, that. It's one of those ones you can kind of play for ages. Nice little song this, but very advanced, I would say. No chance of playing this with your cold hands. Starts coming together, you know, after a while. It's one of those kind of numbers where you need to kind of play it for a few minutes. So anyway, guys, great one. I've done a lesson on it if anybody wants to learn it and stuff. So let's see. We'll have a little look at that next time. Yeah, Steve, I like that one. That's a good one. Where are we? Next live chat when? Yeah, so just so you all know, guys, I'm not gonna be about next week. I've kind of got an engagement that I've got to kind of attend, and so I'll be back with you in a fortnight's time. And I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope you can work on some of those kind of ideas there, and when we come back we can have a look at those. Now, for any of you who aren't too sure, I've started a Facebook group page, okay? Many of you have already signed up to it, but if you haven't already, there'll be a link to it down below once this is uploaded, okay? Please come and join us there. We kind of share a lot of things, you know, videos of ourselves playing, and people can ask me advice and ask me questions and ask things to go on the Joe Show and all that type of stuff. So it'd be fantastic if you could join us there. You know where I am online, probably YouTube. Obviously, I've done a lot of videos there. I'm over at Patreon. Anybody wants to support me there, they're more than welcome. You'd be helping me tremendously. You can get tabs over there, lots of exclusive material and everything like that. So I want to thank you for giving up this bit of time to join me for the show. Extremely grateful to you for that. I hope that it's helped, and I hope that it kind of, you know, has been enjoyable for you in some small way. So goodbye, everybody. I hope that that's okay. If anybody wants to say goodbye, then now is the time to do it, because I'm on my way, guys. I'm just, looks like I'm going to have to practice this a little bit more, doesn't it? Come in now. Typical. Okay, guys, take care. All right, take care now, everybody. I'll catch up with you soon, yeah? It's been great to share the evening with you, and good luck. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining me, all right? Okay, all the best, everybody.